My name is Luke Cosmas. I'm the Academic Support Center Coordinator, and our office here is committed to helping you at every stage, every semester of your academic journey, from the first semester up until graduation. Uh, we're located in the library, and though you may not physically come into the library unless you're visiting campus, we're easily accessible from our online emails, and we can do Zoom appointments from the library in our offices. I have an assistant, Professor Josh Edwards, and a couple student tutors who will do paper reviewing, which I'll touch on in a second. So we're here to be your best friends, help you along the way. Any questions you have, any courses, we want to resource you, whether it's tutoring sessions with myself or one of my members from my team directly, or getting you linked up in conversation with a professor or study group. You just let us know. But let me run through some kind of basics of what our office does. So, need academic assistance? The Academic Support Center provides support to students through tutoring, both individual and group sessions, as I just touched on, and writing review and oversight of assignments. The writing and oversight of assignments, that's one of our biggest, I guess you could say, bread and butter jobs. What we're here to really do is, what that looks like practically is, you have an assignment for a class, a research paper, a personal reflection, what have you. You could submit it to ask@lifepacific.edu, or myself, Luke Cosmas, lcosmas@lifepacific.edu. And either myself or someone from my team will give your paper a read through, and we'll look for a couple different qualities, metrics to see, is this a successful paper? Is it formatted correctly? For certain courses, you'll have MLA format. If you're maybe doing a psychology paper, you'll have to do APA format. We'll let you know if this is hitting the mark. And then besides formatting, we'll look at general content. Is this flowing? Are the sentences coherent? Does the first paragraph transition to the second paragraph well? How is grammar? How is spelling? We try to give that kind of basic fundamentals of English composition of grammar and research going into your writing to make sure the paper that your professor reads is the best paper that you're able to produce. We don't write the paper for you. We give suggestions, recommended edits, but we try to kind of maximize your giftings, your talent, and your capacity to grow for you to put out and submit that best paper that you're capable of submitting. If by chance you have a learning disability that you have documentation for, or maybe you think that you might, please reach out to me. If you already have your documents, you can send those over to me, or I can give you the formal application to apply for learning accommodations within the classroom. I can give you more info what that means, but I'm pretty much the mediator between you and the professor, and you can connect with me through my email. All right, so that's, again, a very quick overview of what our office does. Please reach out to me. Let's set up a Zoom appointment and phone call, and I can kind of tell you a little bit more, get to know you, your aspirations, your academic goals. But what I want to transition to now is, I know I said writing reviews, paper reviews are a big bread and butter part of the Academic Support Center, but another big portion of what we do is just giving students or showing students practical tools to succeed in their classes. And what that most of the time comes down to is time management, prioritizing schedule, assignments, courses, your personal life, putting them in a hierarchy to know when to get something done, how important is it to get something done, when to get something done, so you're ultimately just kind of staying accountable to the success plan that you feel is best fitting for yourself. So I'm going to go through a couple different methodologies for you to kind of determine what best fits you, that you could implement now from this first semester. Maybe you need to modify it later on, second semester, second year. But these are just generally great tools for anyone, including myself, to have in my tool belt. Okay, I've made myself a little bit smaller here in this window now, but let's run through our Ask Academic Support Center time prioritization and study skills exercise. It's about keeping strong, catching up if you need to catch up, and making it to the finish, or end of the semester, end of the year, to graduation. But first, some preliminaries. Goes without saying, being a Christian institution, there's a lot of practical applications for investing in the Lord or yielding to the Spirit, and that's going to produce good fruit. But I think there's just a general principle that you will only get out what you put in. One reaps with what one sows, Galatians 6:7. So with even me proposing some different time management strategies, you're going to get in what you, or you're going to get out what you put in, right? So may sound great in theory, but it will take effort from your part. Maybe you've never been someone to have a calendar or to write out lists. This will be that kind of pivotal moment for you to make that change to see the fruit you hope to see. And remember your why, right? We're talking through a camera here, or I'm talking. This is more of a monologue, sorry. But remember why you applied to LPU. What did the Lord call you to? What do you see yourself doing, not only at the end of the semester or 4 years from now, but 5, 10 years? So remember your why. Friedrich Nietzsche said, he or she who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. If you know your why, maybe that long assignment or all those extra hours it takes for that assignment could better be justified because you know what the goal is. You know where the Lord is taking you, where he's calling you. And then making decisions and sticking to them, or else no committed study skill or planning will yield. Again, you're going to get out what you put in. One reaps what one sows. And then grit and growth mindset are the primary determinant for success. I think you may have already gone through grit and growth mindset here in this course. Maybe it's to come, but lean into choosing steadfastness, choosing endurance, choosing to grow, and you'll find yourself breaking ceilings that you never thought you could. Okay, so our first prioritizing method is called Scrum. In Scrum prioritization, you evaluate your list using 3 criteria. So pause real quick. I want you to just kind of imagine what you have to do this week, this month, assignment-wise. What is on your syllabus? What is showing up on Moodle for what you have to do? How much percentage is it? Is it a midterm? Is it a quick 1% or 5% assignment? Or 5% isn't a small amount. But begin thinking about what do you have this week? What do you have this month? Then you're going to ask yourself a few questions and a few sub-questions. So number 1, how important is the task? Then within that, what percentage of your grade is it? Number 2, is there a hard deadline or a strict late work policy? That's something you'll have to familiarize yourself with. What is the late work policy for each of your courses? Is there no late turn-ins, no ifs, ands, or buts? Or is there maybe a 5 to 10% deduction per day or per week? Then number 2, how important is it compared to other tasks on this list? Is this for a class you're ahead or behind in? For example, if you're in a course that you have an A+ in and on your list is the 3 assignments for this course that you already have an A+ in. Again, that's great, but maybe there's a course that you might have that B or C or D, and the assignments, the homework that you need to do to get done, maybe it's fallen below because there might be an intimidation factor. But not all assignments are always equal week to week, right? You want to, at the end of the day, try to get the best GPA at the end of the semester. So you may need to put a little more working out focus into that specific muscle, right? That specific muscle might be a certain class that may be neglected. And although your left arm, let's say, is totally fit and great, that right arm still needs some attention because you got to get both to A's, right? You don't want an A arm and then a C arm. So think of it that way. And then number 3, is any other task dependent on this task? So this will have to do with kind of more bigger assignments like an essay or a project where we call them scaffolding assignments. So pretty much to get to part 2, you have to do part 1. To get to part 3, you have to do part 1 and part 2, right? You can't just start the assignment at part 5 without doing hours of work beforehand, which is, parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. So knowing that if there is a homework assignment that you need to get done this week because the following week needs to have that part 1 done, that's a good way to put the prioritizing into perspective as well. So using this criteria, and this will have to be on your own time, write out a list of 10 assignments you have, and then if you have a list of 10 tasks, the greatest priority will receive number 1, and the last task will receive number 10. Right? Maybe it's 8 assignments or tasks, maybe it's 15, but this will be the Scrum method. Now we're going to go through one more method. It will be a little more brief, but we'll see which one you like more. Okay, so the Ivy Lee, this is the simple for the 1 day at a time approach. So first, at the end of each workday, choose the 6 most important tasks on your list. These will be what you work on tomorrow. And then you'll order these tasks by priority. So consider Scrum or like a micro version of Scrum on the daily. Then number 3, when you begin work the next day, work on task 1 until it's complete and do not skip. After completing task 1, work on task 2 until complete, then task 3, etc. Again, no skipping the numerical priority order. Continue until all 6 tasks are complete and repeat the process every single day. So this Ivy Lee method is more giving you 6 more bite-sized pieces of tasks to do in order at a time, in order to just kind of get more done on a smaller level, but then come end of the week, you accomplish more, right? It's a way to kind of put in perspective that bigger, maybe intimidating assignment. Like, oh my gosh, I have all these big assignments. Maybe it's a 10-paragraph paper or 5-page paper. With the Ivy Lee method, maybe you just give yourself to write a paragraph or half a paragraph a day, and then the next day another half a paragraph. And by staying consistent with small measurements, by the end of the week you have that assignment done, in addition to whatever else is on your Ivy Lee task list. So I know I was only able to run through a couple prioritizing methods, but this is kind of a window to what the Academic Support Center and myself and what my team will do for you. We're here to help equip you, help you really kind of tap into what's already inside, what the Lord's put into you, and kind of ascend to kind of get those goals that you write on paper at the beginning of the semester, but then come the middle of the semester, you're like, oh my gosh, was this too much? Maybe it was, or maybe it wasn't, right? And that's okay to readjust too. If you need to readjust, that's fine, but let's not compromise for what you are able to do and what the Lord's equipped you to do. And that's what my department, what myself is passionate about doing. Coming beside you so you can attain what the Lord has and desired for you, with you coming here to LPU to seek that degree, to seek that ministry, to seek that long-term vocation, what have you. So again, feel free to reach out to me. Be looking forward to connecting. Take care.